Um, yes. So it just booted up.
All
Um,
right.
and yeah, now we're going live right now. So
So the
uh,
show is on.
the show is on. So hello everybody. The show is on. This is going to be a quite interesting session. There's a lot of you attending for this one live, at least. Naturally, we have this session also live on LinkedIn, on X, and also on YouTube. A lot of people typically ask, will there be a recording provided? Yes, there's always a recording. You can find it on YouTube and a bunch of other places. And the other question that we typically get in one of these sessions is, can I ask my questions? Yes, please do ask your questions all along the way. There's a lot of juicy stuff we're going to be sharing today. But before we kind of go into introductions, I would love to know, guys, where you are tuning in from the world. Sometimes we would like to fine tune what is it that we present to you live. Um, Whether you are from the US or UK, whatever the country is, there's typically nuances to what we show. So we want to kind of fine tune that. So just feel free to along the way, maybe you're shy, just to say where you're from, and and then we're gonna tackle a lot of questions. But first of all, on my side, Frank Saunders, I run a company called Salesforge, and Salesforge essentially just helps you to generate pipeline in a multitude of different ways. We've been around for about a couple of years, with thousands of customers, in my head, I always do a lot of stuff also on LinkedIn. And it kind of made sense to have a chat with Vlastimil. Vlastimil is one of the gurus on LinkedIn that does a lot of cool stuff on LinkedIn. Runs the software actually as well. So we're gonna show you some crazy stuff that he's doing on a daily basis. A lot of the crazy stuff that Vlastimil is also doing, we're doing that all the time. But when I speak to people, literally somewhere in the bar or whatever, people don't do this. Typically, 90% plus of people just don't do this. What Vlastimil is going to show you. So I thought to myself, damn, we have to talk about it. How is it that we can be? How is it that we can chase accounts from the competitors? How is it that we can target folks and so on and so forth? Because by doing this sort of targeting and then reaching out either on LinkedIn or email, you actually see far superior results than just taking a list. I don't know, in some sort of database like Apollo and just kind of going off. Actually, taking a list off a database just like that gives you typically the worst results. So you would definitely want to do some cool stuff, whether that's around competitors, etc. That Vladimir is going to show you. So I got to shut up, but guys, feel free just to say where you're from, and along the way, feel free to ask questions. And Vladimir, over to you to do an intro.
Thanks a lot, Frank. And hey, thanks for having me here. Hi, everybody. I see some greetings from, yeah, so we have London here, Czech Republic, India, so all over the world, really. So, yeah, again, thanks for having me here. I'm Vlastimil, founder of LeadSpeaker. Well, we are, as well as you, Frank, and in the outbound slash automation space, also hundreds of customers. And I actually really want, what I want to show you today is I want to take unique angle into what everybody is doing here, because as you know, nowadays to get some replies, you need to be, first of all, creative and also technical. And today, I want to show you something that not everybody is doing. Well, there has been a lot of viral posts around, but it always ended up just with CSV file. So I want to show you what works for us the best for our customers, and I also take this little bit as an, let's say, educational approach, because like really focusing on where the intent is that's the only thing that actually works nowadays, right? So this old bad spray and pray doesn't work anymore. I think Frank can talk about it for hours, right? So I'll try to show you today something that I believe it's quite interesting. It's quite unique.
Yeah. Um, in most of the intent, the lies. Just a question here, I guess, on LinkedIn, right? That you just are able to harvest and use in a particular way just to drive significantly higher conversion rates where you don't need to drive that volume, right? So, am I assuming correct, or there's some other intent data
Well,
that?
yeah, we are pretty big on LinkedIn. There are also some
Mhm.
other sources like
Yeah,
job portals and things,
yeah.
but LinkedIn is definitely the main source. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. So, guys, feel free to ask questions along the way. Anything that has to do. So, we have an agenda for you guys. We're gonna walk
Mhm.
you through. I don't want to say what's on the agenda. I want to make it more organic. But if there's something specific around LinkedIn that's itching you, like a very tricky question, Vlastimil is very technical himself. He can show you some also crazy stuff that may not be on the agenda. So it could be like a wild card that we're gonna go through. So yeah, Vlastimil, let's not to waste any more time, I guess, and let's get into the juicy part where we want to see what you have for us. But we have three specific items that we want to cover, which we believe would be the coolest stuff that you can do. But as I said, there's other things that we could do. We just think it doesn't maybe apply for everybody. But yeah, over to you, Vlastimil.
All right, all right. So let me share the screen and let's go. I'll show you what I have for you. All right. I hope I'm sharing the right screen. Yeah, here we go. All right. So, guys, everybody does it or at least talks about it. I'm talking about social selling, right? So you need to be visible, and people nowadays want to see authentic people behind brands, not just logos. That's why, well, either you or your competitors, right, Frank? That's why everybody does a lot of posts, a lot of content like this webinar, for example. And what I want to show to you today is a couple of ideas how we turn these, likes and comments and ICP actually engaging with post, but not your post. Will focus on posts of your competitors into and eventually actually into meetings. So if I look at the agenda, we will focus on three playbooks that I really like. One of them is that we will focus on competitor founders. So basically, I'll show you how we constantly monitor your competition, and whenever there is an ICP, which is ideal customer profile, engaging with their post, then we turn them into leads and push them to either sequence, or we are even updating our CRM to see who is engaging with, for example, our post. The second part, if you have enough time, is that we will focus on tracking ICPs that actually enter your profile, enter your LinkedIn profile. So again, when you do a lot of social selling, when you do posts, then not everybody likes or comments your post, but many more people actually visit your profile. So I'll show you this one, and then the third one will be slightly different. We will focus on monitoring a LinkedIn feed. So basically, we will be monitoring any keyword. The keyword could be your competition or something general like outbound, AI, really anything, AI SDRs, and we will get you leads from any ICP that is engaging with this theme, with this topic. So this is the agenda for today, and yeah. So Frank, what do you say?
I think that's
Do
really
we
good.
start
One
with the
thing
first
that you
one?
want to say on the second topic that you're gonna show. Actually, I do that manually. I check, every single person that comes to my profile, because it's like a landing page, right? It's an extension to your website,
Exactly.
and then I manually engage with them. But I bet there is a way you could do it in an automated fashion. So
Yeah. We focus mainly on agencies, somebody who runs outreach and email outreach, LinkedIn outreach, and builds basically lead gen machines for other customers. And many of our users have been doing this already, but manually. So basically, this is how they prove that the content or the posts that they're doing are actually bringing something, and we automated that. So what I'm talking is turning all these comments and if I look something on the engagement into real leads. So if you look at some posts, you can easily see that even if you get a couple of hundreds of likes or comments, then still there is thousands and thousands of impressions, which means many people visited your profile. All right, so I'll start with the first one. And what I want to do is that, well, I hope they won't mind, but I will focus on HeyReach, which are partially competitor, as we also provide LinkedIn outreach, and they're very active, and I really like their post. So I will focus on monitoring the most active people from this company, and I'll basically I'll want to see if there are any ICPs in their post that I can use. So let's go. First of all, you need to log into. I'll be using our tool LeadSpeaker for this. This is basically this is how it looks, and you can have a lot of campaigns or always on projects. And this is what I actually like about this workflow is that you set this up once, and then it constantly every day monitors the post and runs the entire workflow up to the lead and up to the outreach sequence. So you don't need to go every day, manually find the profile, find if there is something new and do it. You can just automate that. So I'll do this right now with starting a new project. I'll start from scratch and I will call it let's do competitor founders post tracking. All right. So I've created a new project, and this project, which is basically data table, like you might know something like in Clay, this data table will be filled for this time with our LinkedIn post tracking robots. Well, we have more of them, but let's focus really on these ones. And for this particular workflow, I'm interested in tracking posts shared by specific accounts, by specific LinkedIn profiles. The setup is very easy. All you need to do is to paste here the LinkedIn profiles of people that you want to monitor. So I prepared it somewhere here, so I don't need to look it up. I don't need to look it up on the stage.
You enter multiple profiles then?
Yes, of course. Yes. So what you can do, I'll show you. I just put it here in my notes, but basically I'll just paste here 4 people.
Okay. Nice.
Right? So all at once, you can post like hundreds of them. So I'll be looking at Nick. I really like his post. I hope he won't mind. But yeah, people are running these playbooks also on us. Then I'll be, also Ilya. And yeah, I have Nadia and Vukasin. So, all right. So these are the 4 people I want to monitor. Now, you know that not every post is relevant, right? So if any of them would mention that, I don't know, they divorced or something, then this is probably not a type of post that you want to really scrape. So what you can do is that here you can basically define, on the backend, it's basically GPT meta prompt. So we can define what is a relevant post. Like a relevant post is just about outbound, about business, about lead generation, really anything. Or you can just skip it, which I will do at this time to keep it faster. And I will scrape every post. So now, and that's basically almost all the settings. Not every person that is engaging is actually relevant. You can already clean the noise at this stage, but I'll show you something a little bit more advanced. So at this stage, you can already filter the noise, and the robot basically scrapes only people with specific job titles. But I actually don't want to scrape just the job titles. I want to look also at the website. I want to look at the LinkedIn profile, the company profile, to decide if they are our ICP or not. So I'll show you in the next step something slightly more advanced. All right, so here you can do some simple setting, like how often you want to scrape these posts, and yeah, like you can do it every day, or we even support like a custom cron, so you can do it even more often. But for the purpose of this one, I'll do it just once. So how many posts the robot can scrape? The more posts you want to scrape, the longer it will take. But let's do something like, let's do 10. And let's scrape like, I don't know, 20 people, or maybe like 10 people per post. All right, so that's all the settings, and I can start the robot. So from now on, the robot starts every day and basically keeps preparing the leads. So yeah, it starts in a second. Let me refresh. It's usually very fast. So it's loading the post. Okay, it's extracting post. Now the good thing is that we also enrich all the profiles. So I've been using in past, I think, Phantom Buster for this, and which is great tool. I needed like maybe three. I need to chain like 3 different phantoms to do this because I need more. I also need the website. I need the company profile, URL, many other things. So we basically just put everything into one place because this is what I find very useful.
So what you're doing right now is extracting the individuals. You're checking them, whether they match your customer profile criteria, right? And then you're enriching them?
No. Right now, I'm scraping all of them. I'll show you some. I'll show you the matching. I'll show you more advanced matching because I want to also look at their website. So I see already some leads are in. Let me check. All right. So we have some first raw data. Not everybody has assigned company LinkedIn profile. Interesting. But let's wait a second. Well, it's still running.
Maybe they're looking for a job, so they don't have a company.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, this is how I would probably discard people. Like if I see that they are not hooked up to any company, I would most likely then. So they're looking for a job, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. So we have some data. So maybe I'll enrich the data set. So we have some more in a minute. I expected this to. Let's do. I don't know. Let's do 40. All right, let's do it like this. So it will add some more leads. Of course, you can just put it to maximum and get everything what's out there. All right. So what we can do now, as I mentioned, like if you would be doing this manually, the first thing that you would do is that you would look at the profile of the person on LinkedIn, right? So, but if you have like thousands of leads, that would take a lot of time. So what you can do instead is use, we call it magic columns, but basically it's a scraper that, can scrape basically anything what's out there on LinkedIn. And for our purpose, I'll scrape the description from the profile. So what the people, say about themselves. So I'll click, and what happens is the new column gets created. And it's loading. Of course, if they don't have any description, then then nothing appears. But this is what happens. All right, and it's there. Then the next thing is that you would probably also look at the company profile, right? Because you might define the persona based on job title, but also based on what the company actually does. So let's also get some company data. And I'll call it LinkedIn, so we call this company description. It works the same way. In a minute, you get what they have on their company profile. By the way, some more leads are in. So it's all actually loading. All right. So and now one more thing is that I also want to look at the website. So let's go for company website summary. What this feature does is that it, imagine all of these Control A and then copy paste into GPT. So of website. So what it does is that we actually send a scraper to their company website. If they have one on LinkedIn profile, we get the information, we summarize them to the data table, but you can also later on, you can use this as input for AI to classify if this is a relevant person. This is exactly what I would do. So one more column, and we will also get information from the website. All of that is running. By the way, if you need emails, you can just click on contact information, enrich emails, and then we run the waterfall enrichment. So Frank knows very well what's that. That's like, yeah, we have like six providers, and always, always excited to see what works for somebody else. We are basically adding this, what we believe is the best. So now the fun starts. So we have some information which is already good enough to decide if this person is relevant or not. What I would do now is I would create an AI column, and this AI column would be called ICP relevant. Also, I want to use this as condition for the sequencer. But at the end of the day, you can really either use the built-in sequencer, or you can send it to Salesforce. You can use any other external tool. We have even an app for it. I'll show you at the end. But yeah, the data, or you can send it to Clay. But this feature can be done already here, and we don't even charge credits. It's part of the workflow. So I actually prepared one prompt here, and I'll copy it here.
So the way we're going to do it, once we get it to the end, guys, so feel free to ask questions. We have a lot of questions already coming in across YouTube and LinkedIn and X. But once we're done with this segment, we're going to take questions from this segment. So no pressure on you, Vlastimir. Just ask questions.
A little bit.
There's definitely a lot of confused faces as well in some of the things, which is good. So
all right. So I made a prompt, and I want to analyze the input. And basically, input will be, I'll show you. And I want to find out if this persona fits any of the categories. Like, I want business owners, people, maybe not brand, not investor. So you can redefine with anything with GPT instructions. As now as input, I would use the position. So, and here, this is how I connect the table. So position, then I would also use the LinkedIn bio, because not always, the job title is not enough. Sometimes you need more. I think that's good enough to find out if the person is relevant. So,
yeah, sometimes my job title may say Chief Bacon Officer, and you're not really sure.
Exactly, yeah, and yeah, exactly. All right. Also, you can, maybe, because I see we also have like in LinkedIn automation expert. Let's whatever. Automation expert. So maybe let's include also LinkedIn company description. And for this, let's use this column, and also let's use the website. So company website. And let's link, not this one. Let's link company website like this. All right. So I know that the prompt will work. Well, instructions, yeah. It should answer yes, no, or unknown. All right. So I can click on it, and now it's running. So the idea here is that every day the automation, basically the robot starts. It's basically a scraper which is running every day, and it's also enriching the data and fills the data table. And you can have as many robots as you want. You can put a lot of people that do want to track. You don't need to launch this manually, and then the robot is preparing leads like this every day. Then, as you can see, this column ICP relevant is where GPT, this is 4.1 mini actually, in this case, as part of the product, is answering yes, no. And like this is very simple. This is a very simple definition if the person is relevant or not. And you can put this directly into the sequence. So like the first step could be deciding if the person actually is relevant, like yes, no. So the no, I don't touch them. And then yes, you can decide, if you are connected to them or not.
So you would discard if it says ICP no, you would just not touch them typically, right?
Exactly, exactly. I would skip them. So if it's not ICP relevant, then I would not touch them. Then probably I would even check if we are connected on LinkedIn or not. You can do this as well, or this one. If we are connected,
So one question
you
that
know.
pops to mind, right? So when you do this sort of,
Mm-hmm,
list, and sometimes I'm curious, and I think a lot of people also just generally curious,
mm-hmm.
is when you look at, let's call it the commenters, whatever, you want to figure out how many of them are actually ICPs on average. Do you have the percentage, or you can't see it here
Yeah, so we have it. We have it in
in the
reports,
table?
and
Yeah,
also you can and like very simple thing is that you can just filter all the yes,
all yes, okay. Yeah, because
and you see.
sometimes you would take the post or whatever individuals, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't have a lot of ICPs, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You are
So in
not
this
really
case,
being
yeah,
told to go after.
yeah. In this case, it's 58.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but some of the posts are like thousands of people. Yeah.
84, right? So 58 out of the 84, right? That you had here initially.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
58 out of 84. But I was pretty, this was a pretty broad definition of ICP.
Gotcha. No, but that means that's really good, right? So if you 58 out of say 84, even with the broad one, right? So if it's a yes, that means these are good individuals for you to always follow, I guess, right? And add net new ICPs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because no, my take is like sometimes I would do this personally in our business, and I would just go to some individuals, and then I also check whether it's an ICP, yes or no, and then it's like 10%, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna do this again, So like, and sometimes it's either the content that these people are pushing or these individuals. So in theory, they should have a lot of ICPs, right? But they don't have a lot of ICPs, right? So
exactly.
so my suggestion in this case is, so we're taking Heyreach as an example here, but you could take essentially another company and their followers or people that engage, right, and then do the relevancy check on the ICP.
Exactly.
There, and you may have a better match rate, and then it's much better to go after these folks.
Yeah, exactly. So we covered this part. The other ones will be quicker. It looks like the process is very similar. It's just we will set up slightly different robot.
Sure.
By the way,
let's just tackle some of the questions then on this segment.
All right, let's do it.
We have some questions here from Ganesh then maybe. So do you classify them this being as a CRM system that's built in?
Well, not really CRM system. I would say this is a scraper. Well, the robots are basically scrapers that are filling the data table. The data table is, it has slightly similar feature to Clay, but of course not. It doesn't cover hundreds of edge cases. It's just like the must-have that we need, and then it's connected to email and LinkedIn outreach, which is built in. So yeah, it's like out of the box GTM system. Not really CRM. We connect this to Pipedrive. Yep.
So you would just push it out to.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the next one we've got is from Roman. Just so when a robot creates a profile you're tracking, does it use your LinkedIn cookie?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't use the LinkedIn cookie. You can even actually use our API, and it doesn't really need your LinkedIn profile. There are cases where the account is needed, like if you want to monitor a post of your first level connections, because without this we actually don't know it. So in the robots, as you can see, that there is there is option to choose the account that you connected, but no, it's not needed.
Cool. And the last one that we're gonna just take is from Emily. So the leads that you're showing, do they come from entering the competitor link or the profiles of the individuals?
Yeah, I see this question. So these leads are coming from the posts. I'll show you. Maybe it's slightly confusing. I'll show you from which post they came. So actually, this is what I can show you. If you look at the table. So you can see that, so these are likes. I believe there will be some comments as well. Yeah, well, likes. And you can see, okay, it came from this post content. And we have even the link. Well, who was the author? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, like this. So it came from post by Nick. here is the post content, and by the way, all of that and post comment. So by the way, all of that could be used to personalize. Like, but you know, sometimes it's pretty cringe. I don't like these messages like, "Hey, I saw, you know, I saw you like post of." You can do all of that here, but
Yeah.
well, sometimes it works. It depends on what you do. Sometimes actually, it's a little bit annoying.
I, I
Yeah,
personally
decide
don't.
yourself.
I personally don't do it. So
Yeah,
we
I
run
don't do
right
it as well.
we right now run on about we have about 30 LinkedIn profiles
Mm-hmm.
altogether. So we have quite a
Yep.
team on it, and so we typically engage with much bigger posts. So these are
Mm-hmm.
typically they have to be much bigger. These are typically lead magnets if it
Yeah.
would go after something. So imagine a lead magnet that's like hyper
Yeah.
relevant to us. So we just take that lead magnet and we reach out. And then there's a lot of people on there. Yes, we do check for relevancy as well there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes not. It depends, I guess. So sometimes we're testing. What if we reach out to non-relevant people? So yeah, we have about 30 LinkedIn profiles, but then there's other different ways you can actually do this. But yeah, posts are really good. Um, I think I found that posts
Mm-hmm.
actually the best sort of source right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it could be your direct competitors, but it could be also
Yep. Yep.
just influencers in the space, essentially people from the industry, but you don't compete, but they just have a fantastic content
Mm-hmm.
and they always drum up, a ton of engagement. So instead of you
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, having really good
Yep.
content and spending a lot of time engagement, just go and latch on
Exactly.
great content of other people, right? And you have the
Exactly.
millions of leads. And yes, please don't mention, hey, I saw that you were posting or whatever.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Just
May
assume that,
I?
let's say, just to kind of wrap up, let's say
Uh-huh.
the post is about AI agents. Just assume that the person is interested in AI agents. That's it. That's how I think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Right? So, and then so when you write a copy to that individual, you just kind of make it relevant more towards the
Mm-hmm.
topic of the AI agents to trigger response. Right. So just to give you an
Mm-hmm.
idea, guys, we have like a reply rate of about 30 to 40% on average. So so this is how the strategy sort of pans out.
Mm-hmm.
So the reply rates are quite high when you do that.
Yeah.
So
I would like to, because MLA, she has a follow-up
yeah,
question.
yeah, let's
She's
go for it.
asking, just to clarify, which profile URL did you type at the start? This might be confusing because this is already slightly advanced thing. I'm monitoring every post of these people because I don't want to go and manually check which post works out, which post has been successful. I just want to check everything, and I don't want to touch it. I want to check this every day. But what Emily is asking for probably is that if you have a link to successful post, like if you can include the link, and yeah, you can do this, and you can just choose this option like I have specific post I want to scrape, and in this case you can include just, yeah, let's do something, let's do something bigger, yeah, like here. So you can just copy the link URL
Mhm.
and you can paste it here, and then the setting is actually simplified. As you can see, there is not even, you don't even there is no way to connect to your LinkedIn profile actually.
Mhm.
So you can just choose how many people who like you want to scrape, how many people who commented, and you just hit the start button and then it's running. I'll just
I like what Matt
do.
says. It's influencer marketing that I talked about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like this is what people actually know, but yeah, then who wants to do this every day, right? I want to just monitor my yeah, I want to monitor influencers without touching it. So this is like, yeah, advanced thing. This is what we started with, and yeah, it's like advanced
Sometimes the way
version.
that I do it, just to kind of help me
Mm-hmm.
maybe later to go into software like this, is I just scroll through my LinkedIn feed pretty much every day. I wake up in the morning, open up LinkedIn in the afternoon, in the night before I go to bed, whatever. And when I like a post, like, oh wow, this is a damn good post, I just save it so that I go to it later, right? So I just take the LinkedIn URL of that, and then I'll do something with it. And then I
Mm-hmm.
go and check all my saved LinkedIn posts. These are all
Mm-hmm.
posts that I have to do something with. So that's my sort of workflow. Like so, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to necessarily go to specific people. I can, but I'm all about let me get the best post or the posts that have the highest relevancy to the pain that I'm solving. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So maybe maybe because this is slightly similar to the third use
Yeah,
case. So maybe let's jump right into
let's
that one.
let's go for it.
Uh, this is some similar thing that I do as well. So let's focus.
Before we
Let's
start,
do something different.
let's just take this final question before we start. Can we use company
Mhm.
profile pages from Antonio?
Yes, yes, you can. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You can. It could be person. It could be company.
Mhm.
It could be really anything. Yeah, just copy and paste it. So I'll I kind of try to bridge what you said. Imagine that every day when you open your LinkedIn, you see all this, interesting posts. Like let's say recently something about AI, like yeah, AI SDR. So for us, it's quite interesting to scrape ICP that are that are engaging with AI SDRs.
Mhm.
So I don't know who's the company, I don't know who's the person, who's the author, but I know the topic. So in that case, what I recommend to do, maybe like Boolean. So I
Yeah.
would define the keyword with Boolean, but also we can do like
Uh-huh.
or I don't know, like or something else, or you can do AI and SDR, or like or outbound. But yeah, so if you know like to use like or and all of that, this is very helpful. So let's do AI SDR. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, we are not interested in people, but yeah, we are interested in posts.
Yep.
And also what I like to do is that, because like timing is more important than all the AI personalization, so I actually like to sort them by latest,
Uh-huh. Yep.
because there is really every minute something going on. And
Mm.
now, well, there
You
are
can see in
strategies.
there. That was Inception.
Ah, all right. Yeah, I didn't plan this. Nice. There is that's maybe it was the Frank AI, right? SDR.
Yep.
So
I don't know.
as you can see, there is every hour there is something,
Yep.
and this is what you can let the robot monitor for you every day. By the
Yep.
way, you can also combine the filters, like I want only people from my first level connection, like who are
Uh-huh.
connecting with me on the first level, who talk about AI SDR. Like this is actually what I do. I'm monitoring like my first level connections talking about different topics, for
Mm-hmm.
example, right? So you can do things like this, and then the process is very similar. So let me go back to AI SDR. So the difference here is that we are not going to use the LinkedIn profile URL or company LinkedIn profile URL, but we will
Mm-hmm.
use the link to the feed filter. So I'll copy this and I'll go back to lead speaker.
Yep.
I'll choose different robot. Again, it's the LinkedIn post tracker type of robots. And
Uh-huh.
in this case, I'll go for the third option, which is, yeah, basically a robot that is monitoring the feed. So you paste it here, but in this case, this is actually pretty relevant to define, like, I won't only post talking about AI SDRs. I recommend doing this because it cleans a lot of noise, especially like we've been trying this with Clay. You would
Yeah.
be surprised how many people don't really talk about Clay in terms of automation,
Yeah.
but you need to clean it to get relevant leads.
Mm.
You can do it like that.
Okay.
It takes just slightly more
So wait,
time
so
because
to understand correctly that you just put the link with the ISDR in it. The link is from
yes,
LinkedIn, right?
yes,
So
yes. This
the
link
link in the
is
filter, and then you additionally qualify essentially, right?
yes, yes. I
Yeah.
want to additionally qualify because if I'll show you, if I do something like Clay, then
Yeah.
we also you might find posts. I'll definitely find some of them.
I
Yeah,
found
you
some.
might find posts which are not related to Clay as automation tool.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense because LinkedIn is, I guess,
Yeah,
if
like like here, right? So you probably don't want to target people who engage with the shooting range. So
yeah,
that's why it is important to clean the noise,
yeah,
right? Especially when you do this thing. So again, I just copied the LinkedIn URL, put it into the robot. I defined what the post should be about, And again, you can even here clean the people who engaged or the authors. But at this stage, it's on the level of job title. In the next stage, you can add much more information. You can even scrape, what they've been posting in the last 3 months, really anything. All right. Yep.
Does it matter which
So
profile you choose here? Like which LinkedIn do you want to use, or it doesn't matter?
It's sometimes LinkedIn is showing you different results based on who you are.
Yeah.
So again, it depends on the use case, but like we don't really use your profile in this case for the scraping, but we need to load in this case the feed, because some posts are visible only to you and not visible to other people. It's
Got it.
even if you are not if you are not choosing the filter like first level connections, it's just not everything is visible to everybody. All right, so the rest of the same. You can set up if you want to do this every day or just once. How many posts back into the history you want to take. So again, let's go like 5 posts back. Yeah, let's do hundreds. I think there wasn't that many likes or comments per post. I'll do something like this and start. And basically that's it. Then the rest is the same process. So the robot starts working really in a minute. Yeah, it's working, and yeah, it runs, and when it's done, it prepares a new row in the data table. By the way, I'm doing now everything at one place, but different playbook. It's usually different message, different strategy. So I would recommend to create one project for specific campaign, and then in one project I would assign only the relevant robots. So yeah, so basically the output is again the same. So you get the people. Maybe what I can actually do is I'm not going to enter Gmails because of GDPR, right? But yeah, you can get also the emails and everything.
So what
Uh,
was this? Just generally, because you're showing different workflows,
mhm.
but typically there's probably like one, two, three things that maybe are the highest converting ones. What would you
Yep,
say are like top one, two, three things
yep.
that are the highest converting ones across, I guess, many customers?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely number. If you are somebody
Yeah.
who is already making a lot of content or at
Uh,
least do some social selling, then the number one converting workflow is actually the one which we haven't done. I'll show you. Is the one that is converting the people who visited your profile
mhm,
and starting the conversation with them.
mhm.
This is like equally successful with people who actually liked or commented on your own post, because people usually talk to people they are kind of familiar with. And yeah, try yourself. If you shoot 100 emails to people that have never heard about you, or if you shoot 100 emails to people who engaged with your post, the conversion it's pretty different. So in this case, I'll show you
It
mine live
reminds me
workflow.
like also the like RB2B, if somebody knows, guys, so where you can
Yep.
de-anonymize visitors on your site, right? You de-anonymize, you reach out,
Hmm.
and it's, I mean, on your profile you can see most of the people that are visiting. So
Hmm. Yeah.
reaching out fast. By the way, speed
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
is a
The
big
speed
one.
is important.
Yes.
So this is actually workflow which is running right now. I'll show you. And this one, it's slightly different robot. It's basically LinkedIn people search robot. Here, what you're entering for this one, which is if you want to see the profile visitors, you need to get Sales Navigator. I actually recommend everybody to buy it. All our customers, all our users, they pay for Sales Navigator. So
Yeah.
it's I
By the
believe
way,
it's
I
must.
have a little growth hack on that. If somebody wants to check out on the YouTube channel, how to get Sales Navigator significantly cheaper than you typically pay for it.
Oh yeah.
Not going to
Well then,
disclose it here. It's a little
yeah,
little
yeah.
hint to go and check out on the YouTube channel. It says Frank's hacks. The first hack of the Frank is getting Sales Nav for much cheaper than you typically pay.
Oh my, just might have sent me a lot of money. So let's do this. To see who viewed your profile, you
Yeah.
need to click. here in Sales Navigator, I believe everybody is familiar with that. You need to choose this filter. So people who viewed your profile recently. Like, to be honest, I don't know exactly if if the results are like in the last month or more, but it doesn't really matter. If you turn a robot which is checking every day, then you get everything. So I have like 915 results in I don't know what time. For me, quite important is that I want to target on the people I'm not connected with yet. So I would do only 2nd degree and 3rd degree connections. And basically, this is the filter. Again, to use this for the robot, you just copy this link, go into the robot, put it here, and then the settings, everything. Like, yeah, I can scrape everyone. Here you can even define from what kind of company. I just take everyone. Here, in this case, you really need to choose the account because, especially if you're running, for example, if you're running this for your customers, then yeah, if they want to see really who are the leads visiting their profiles, then yeah, here you would choose the profiles of your customers that you just plug in with the settings. I would set this to run every day, but now just for the for the demo, let's do it once, like this. Actually, because this is a workflow that I already have actively activated, I can show you how it looks when it's running live. So this is how it looks. Yeah, emails, I hide them. All right, like this. Okay, so I see who are the people. Also, there is like if they got message, email, LinkedIn, if they replied, any kind of like statistics. Then what for me is quite interesting here is that I'm monitoring here the persona based on company description and basically based on the information on profile. Then, yeah, well, we are as we come from Europe, which you probably can hear. Then not everybody here. Well, I believe many people speak English, but there are cases where you just choose the local language, right? So it would just look strange. So what I'm doing is that I'm also deciding if I'm going to speak like what language I choose.
Yep.
In my case, I'm using basically 3 options. I'll show you here. I'm talking to people who visited my profile in English, German, and in Czech, which is my native language. And here I have prompt with some rules, like what language I actually choose. Yeah, like in German, which is like Czech, and English.
Because sometimes it will be awkward if you're going to reach out to your own folks in English, right? When you're both from the same country, right? So
yeah, but at the same time, like here in Prague, it's there's a lot of expats and they don't speak local language. So why would you speak local language to them if you can you can see from the profile that you would choose English? So you can do all of that.
So the language also check from the LinkedIn profile, or is it just?
What I do is that I actually I don't take the information from the profile because people it doesn't match the language always. What I do is that I take the name itself, how because like you can recognize like a name that sounds from German, and the profile and the company is also in Germany. Then I choose German because that's quite sure. The local names are quite easy, and also I'm using I'm adding actually the bio on the LinkedIn in what language they basically. I'm looking for any proof that they might be speaking local language. So even looking into latest posts and stuff. Yeah, also looking at geography. Not everything is relevant for us. Well, there are some columns that I don't really use, like summary of all the present positions. Some people, if you've been getting data from Sales Navigator, sometimes or very often people work at multiple companies, and then you just get data that are not really matching. So I'm checking all the active present experience. Yeah, in this case, like here, deciding if this is agency or not, it gives me some extra focus.
Mhm.
if you are already connected or not, if it's a relevant industry, and some other things like here what they have been posting about and things like that. And then yeah, basically the sequence, let me turn off the full screen. The sequence is basically like this. So if persona is fit and it's from the right geography and the right agency, then, well, in this case I made it simple. I have two different messages, but I made the message entirely as a variable field instead of having too many like roots. So I just make the message. I just run the message based on the template actually here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have a lot of questions coming. Guys, feel free to still fire away your questions. We got 10 minutes. We got a lot of questions there.
All
Before
right.
we go into questions section, I think the last thing that you do, so when this setup goes on, you just push it to any form of sequencer.
Yes. Yes. This is what I
Otherwise,
do
you
exactly.
execute there, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have API for everything, and also we have many apps. One of them, Frank, you might be familiar with this. So you can directly send it to Salesforce. So instead of doing export and then in CSV and import, and instead of playing around with make or NADN, which you can do, you can just connect your Salesforce and transfer the data through the workflow, set up the frequency if you want to do it once, or always when the robot is done, from which project you are transferring the data. And yeah, so you can use just a robots, and then when the robot is done, the data are ready, you can send it to Salesforce, or you can send it to Clay, really anywhere. And
Cool.
yeah. All
That's good.
right.
Perfect. So let's take a few more questions then. So we got a question from Chris. Can you track all the interactions of competitor AMs outside of their own page? Not sure what AM stand for. For me, it's AM is account manager. Do you know what AM stands for?
Yeah. We can do it.
Yeah.
If you technically would be able to do it with us. Well, this is a very good question. It's a little bit nerdy. I like it. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Chris
I
has been
don't
in
show
sales
this
for a long
often.
time, so he definitely
Yes,
has the
yes.
tougher
I'll show
questions
you.
for you.
I'll show you. So if you go into our API documentation, like here, yeah, I'll just copy the API key. I hope I don't show it. And I go here. So we have one endpoint. Let me find it quickly. I know which one it is. It's activities. I think that's it. So, well, I will quickly authorize. And Frank, I'll use your account as the guinea pig, if you don't mind.
Let's go.
So, but this is how this is very interesting. This is how you can monitor even whenever. Actually, where are people looking? What they like? What they engage with? So, Frank. So let's see who are the people and posts you actually engage with, right? So like the flip side. So I'll go back into the endpoint, and it's very simple. The payload, it's pretty simple. And the input is the LinkedIn profile URL and your profile. As you can see, I'm not connecting any account here. So I run on execute, and then yes, let's give it. It's all real time, so let's give it few seconds. But soon we should get all the. Actually, what we will get is this thing. Not inside.
Where I comment on, right? So or something.
Yeah. It's not inside. Sorry, it's called. Well, it's in activities. And it's
comments. I think it's comments, right? It must be comments.
I think it's yeah. Well, they changed the UI slightly, yeah, but it's this one. It used to be ask activities, but basically we scrape this part.
Gotcha.
So here you can see that you replied to this post, yeah, to this one, etc. It might happen that they changed the interface. So let's see. Oh yeah, so we have it. So
Forget about
I need to
that. Okay.
revoke the key. That's fine. So yeah, as you can see, I see that you
Yeah, I see.
like
I'm liking
this specific
something.
poster.
Which post? Yeah, gotcha.
Yes. So and we actually got a lot
Yeah,
of
because I have a
your
lot of high
engagement.
activity. But Chris,
Yeah,
it would
like
be interesting to understand your use case for this. What would you do if you would know what the
well,
using
what
is there?
yeah, what we did, and it was actually presented also at the Clay meetup in San Francisco recently, is that I'm running this to monitor. Like it's if you want to, for example, if you want to get acquired, then you need to stay on the radar, right? So you need to
Yes.
stay on the radar, and your potential buyers should actually see you everywhere. But if you keep posting their posts, then actually you look more like a loser, not really that somebody who is visible. So what I do is that I firstly scrape, I scrape like the CEOs of the big tech companies, and scrape the CEOs of big tech companies, not because I want to be in every post they do, but I want to see who are the people they engage with the most, and then I'm focusing on that people. And yeah, well, this actually worked out pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, Zoom Info, like Henry reached out if they can white label our social signals, and if I would be commenting every his post, then this is not exactly how you would win this. But if they, because this is kind of hacking the algorithm. The algorithm is firstly showing you the post of people you engage with the most,
Yeah.
and if you are appearing in the comments of people where you look at, then you immediately get some visibility in their network. So this is quite interesting hack. It's not yet part of the product, but it's in the API. So if know how to do Clay, Make, NA, then that's the choice to do.
Sounds good. Alrighty. There's a question from an unknown user on LinkedIn. Not sure why it's unknown, but is there a feature where you can monitor posts from everyone on LinkedIn by keywords? If AI agent is included in the post, I think that's what you showed, right? So, but AI
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
yes. The answer
yeah,
is
yeah.
yes.
Yes,
Uh,
this is what I show. I was taking posts from everyone using AI agent.
yeah,
This is, yeah. I was not really filtering this.
yeah. So we definitely taking the URL with the AI is SDR as an example. We
Yeah.
then also did qualification on top of that, right? So because LinkedIn doesn't really have a nice clean view, so you have to
Mm-hmm.
qualify the view that LinkedIn gives you, the feed additionally
Yeah.
as well. And then, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But Stuart from SaaSDB is asking, this looks very cool. What's the discount for Salesforce friends? I guess you can reach out to Vlastimil on LinkedIn and see if he is a generous man or
Well,
not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
um,
Reach out to me. Reach out to me. I can create a coupon. Like I can do Salesforce friends, and create a coupon. So it will be active for a month. I
Guys,
can do
feel free to
something
ask any
definitely.
questions that you have. We're just about to wrap. But if you have a burning question on anything to do with LinkedIn, so we showed you really cool stuff. I think the questions were awesome. But if there's something particular on LinkedIn that's itching you and you don't know how to figure some stuff out, uh, feel free to ask now or be silent forever. Or if you're shy because you don't want to be public, we have some of those people like that.
Yeah.
Do reach out either to me or Vlastimil. I mean, if it's LinkedIn, then definitely Vlastimil, right? So we don't do LinkedIn on our end. And otherwise, to wrap, Vlastimil, how can people find you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Well, yeah. Vlastimil@leadspeaker.com, or just find me
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. I'm
Yeah,
there all the
that
time.
should be your
So
the
find me on LinkedIn. My name is very simple to to type in, right? So yeah, just connect with me on LinkedIn.
cool. And guys, if you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe. And for other sessions, etc., feel free to also say, if you want to see some other cool folks jumping in. And then we'll organize. And probably Vlastimil will be back because I bet Vlastimil is shipping, crazy. All the stuff, I'm following him on LinkedIn all the time. I bet like in 6-12 months, this could be fully autonomous and fully agentic, right, Vlastimir?
Yeah,
So
if that's what we want, right? So some people are
yes,
not ready for this yet. I'm totally ready,
yes,
but
yes. But there's a lot of AI stuff or AI agent stuff I already see on LinkedIn, like fully autonomous, like you don't touch anything, not even this. It's all decided for you. But I bet Vlastimir is building cool stuff. So yeah, guys, feel free to follow him also on LinkedIn, connect with him, ask a bunch of questions. And thank you so much, Vlastimir, for your time.
thanks for having me here.
There will be a recording as well available on YouTube if some of you have missed and have been late. So it goes live on YouTube literally in a bit. And the recording is on there. And otherwise, we shall see you next time, guys. Cheerio.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.